What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and your Minnesota Vikings are 12-2. And just 3 more victories over the next 3 weeks means the Minnesota Vikings, your Minnesota Vikings, have the chance to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. And the Vikings, they dismantled the Bears on Monday Night Football, beating them 30-12. And it was an absolute beatdown from the jump. The Vikings jumped on them early, and if you don't have a couple miscues in this game, the score could have been a lot worse. I mean, Jefferson dropped a wide open touchdown. You ran into the punter, giving the Bears a new set of downs, but still in the end, the Vikings did just enough to get it done, and they really gave a beatdown on the Chicago Bears. So on today's post-game reaction, we'll talk about Sam Darnold, how he played, as I actually thought he had an okay game. He was a little inaccurate at certain spots of today's game, but the run game looked good, and the Vikings really did a great job on Caleb Williams and this Bears offense. But the Bears offense only totaled 283 yards today, and a lot of that came in garbage time. The Vikings pulled the starters with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the one touchdown the Bears had did come up against the backups for the Minnesota Vikings. But really the story of the game, I think, was on third downs. Vikings were 7-14. Bears were 1 of 12, and big reason why the Vikings had 24 first downs and the Bears only had 6. Time of possession about even. It was an ugly football game. A lot of penalties out there, 19 total in this game. But guys, I mean, with this win, the Vikings still control their own destiny in the NFC North and in the NFC. If the Vikings win 3 more games, they will be NFC North champions, and they will have a 95% chance to be the number 1 seed, and that's with the Eagles if they would win out and go to 15-2, but do the tiebreakers. The Vikings will actually have the edge over the Eagles. So if you guys want the Vikes to win the NFC North title for the second time under Kevin O'Connell in 3 seasons, hit that thumbs up icon, show Kevin O'Connell and this Vikings team your support, and also just get the good vibes going. You can't jinx this special year we got on our hands here in Minnesota. So if you guys want the Vikings to win the NFC North, hit that thumbs up icon. Now, the raw numbers for Darnold don't look great. 24 of 40, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I will say that 1 interception came on 4th and 3. Vikings were driving down the field. Darnold just kind of said, F it, I'll give my receiver a chance. And I like that mentality. Just resulted in an interception, which was caught by Tyreek Stevenson. I will say Tyreek Stevenson, he kind of embarrassed himself. He was hitting the SKOL chant down 13. He had a brutal pass interference on Jordan Addison. He is, he might be one of the biggest boneheads in the NFL that we have. But, hey, Darnold, I thought he looked good. He was a little inaccurate in a couple throws today. Like, he missed Jefferson on a couple out routes. I mean, Jefferson honestly should have had over 100 yards. Just Darnold missed them a couple times. But I'll say this, I'm not worried about Darnold. He looked good. I mean, he had David Quessenberry in at right tackle for about half the game. So Brian O'Neill, it was great news that he was able to return and played very, very well. But I also loved just the equal distribution from Darnold tonight. Like Jordan Addison having 7 receptions for 63 yards. We were really using him underneath. He was a big deep play threat over the past month of the season. This game against the Bears kind of switched up. He was underneath a lot. He was getting it done in the pass catch game at a very high level, and he was really Sam Darnold's safety blanket. And also T.J. Hockenson. He went for 52 yards as well. So the big 3 for the Vikings went for over 150 yards. I thought they were very effective. I thought they just did enough. And in a game like this, NFC North game on prime time, you got a Bears team coming into your building who is red hot. But I do want to talk about the Vikings run game here for a second, as I actually thought Aaron Jones and Cam Akers played pretty well. And, specifically Aaron Jones here. I mean, 18 carries, 86 yards, 1 touchdown. If you guys forget, Aaron Jones last year on the Green Bay Packers, everybody loves to talk about Jordan Love really, hit the ground running on the second half of the year. And yes, he did, but also Aaron Jones, in their last 5 games, he went for over 100 yards in each of those games. So I thought he looked great, found the end zone as well. And also Cam Akers found the end zone as well tonight, going for 10 carries on 24 yards. Akers just runs hard. I'm a big fan of his game. And, just overall, the Vikings played a hell of a game today. But I'll ask you guys this, and then we'll talk about the defense on the second half of today's show, because honestly, if I had to give a game ball, it probably goes to the defense today. And honestly, the crowd. The crowd played a big factor in today's game. But you guys let me know your thoughts on this. Who is the best player on this Vikings team, but you can't say Justin Jefferson? For me, and we'll talk about him here in a little bit, I'm going to go Jonathan Grenard, number 58. He's got 11 sacks on the year, 4 forced fumbles. He's been playing his tail off for the purple and gold. So name the best player on the Vikings team, but you can't say Justin Jefferson. Comment down below. Now we'll talk about Jonathan Grenard and this defense as a whole here in a second. But first off, got to tell you guys about today's sponsor of our post-game show, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Now, I had a lineup for tonight's game versus Chicago Bears. Didn't end up hitting, but hey, if you guys would have faded my picks, you guys would have won a good amount of money on Prize Picks. So if you guys download the Prize Picks app today, plug in promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50. That's $50 instantly when you use promo code CLNS and you create your first $5 lineup. So download the app today, use code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. But massive shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, let's talk about the Vikings defense here. I thought they did a great job on Caleb. Now, a lot of the Bears offense today was a lot of just gimmicky BS where, I sort of got, they probably ran orbit motion where the wide receiver, running back, sprints behind the quarterback and he goes out wide. They probably ran that about 15 times. I don't think Thomas Brown and the Bears coaching staff have a lot of faith in Caleb because it's all dump downs or it's all check downs. He just doesn't really push the ball down the field. And with a guy with his live as an arm he has, you would expect that to be the opposite. Like Caleb, hey, congrats. You haven't thrown an interception in 8 straight games. Who cares? You barely put up any production offensively. I just think the Bears are, again, mishandling a rookie quarterback for the 3rd straight time. And Bears fans, you guys will all hang up those Caleb Williams jerseys next to your Justin Fields and Mitchell Trubisky jerseys. I'm pretty confident on that. But, the Bears run game, specifically in that 3rd quarter, got going a little bit. 19 carries, 79 yards for DeAndre Swift. And I think about the Vikes run defense a little bit. I do think losing Ivan Pace, him going on IR, it takes a serious hit to this run defense. Now, we'll see. You're going up against Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker next week. So, especially if it is Sam Howell at quarterback for the Seahawks, they're going to try to run that ball at a very, very high level and probably over and over again. But, Swift, he had a nice game. But, again, I just didn't understand the Bears' game plan. I thought it was an embarrassing coaching performance. Caleb missed a lot of wide-open receivers, and I think you got to give credit to the Vikings defense. And, give credit. Dallas Turner got home. He beat Darnold Wright on a big-time play, so shout out to him. And then also Jonathan Grenard got home as well. So shout out to both those guys coming off the edge. But Keenan Allen, he had a good game in terms of the just raw numbers, 6 receptions, 82 yards. But again, he dropped a lot of passes. Caleb missed him on a wide-open touchdown, and his one touchdown came in garbage time. So I'm not really too worried about that. But DJ Moore, the Bears just use him like Deebo Samuel. 8 receptions, 46 yards, and on the ground, he had 3 carries for 24 yards. He's an explosive playmaker. I get it. You want to get him the ball any way you can, but I just don't really understand how they're using DJ Moore. The Bears, just in general, are a joke. The Vikings just handled business. And yet again, guys, if the Vikings went out and they win their last 3 games in Seattle, at home against the Packers, and you travel to Detroit, and you take on the Lions, you have a chance to really be the #1 seed. And if you're the #1 seed, all you have to do is win 2 playoff games, man. That's all you have to do. 2 playoff games at home, and the Vikings really have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And I'll give my hot take out there right now. I think the Vikings are going to be playing in the Super Bowl. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to get the #1 seed. I think they're going to win out, and I think it's just going to come down to the Vikings-Bills in the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be the battle of the 2 0-4 teams in Super Bowls, and I think this team will be representing the NFC. And I think at the end of all this, as we are getting an update on Brian O'Neill, apparently his right knee, he'll probably just be sore tomorrow, but there's no structural issues. So that's great news on Brian O'Neill. But, hey, that's my bold prediction. Say I'm drinking too much purple Kool-Aid, but I'm excited about this team. That was another great win. And, again, 7 wins in a row. You're 12-2. You look like one of the better football teams in the NFL. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the process. Enjoy every snap. Enjoy every down. And it'll be a fun season. But, hey, if you guys made it to the end of today's post-game reaction, you guys see it right there. Give me a SKOL down below in the comment section. light it up, make it look like US Bank Stadium, and I cannot wait for the final 3 weeks of the season because the Vikings really do got a good chance to be the #1 seed in the NFC. And you guys can also give me a follow on Twitter. That's the handle right there, at Pat Sieps. Give me a follow over there, and you guys a follow right back. But we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes.